It's just fake. London's fake. It's like you go around London, you've got people living in £1 million flats, and next door people can't feed their kids. Literally can't give them a breakfast.
Yeah.
And probably, everywhere you go, you don't see a rough building in London anymore. You don't see a rough council estate. They're all villages now, or they're.
I remember being outside the World's End pub in Kings Road once.
Yeah.
I was on the phone to my dad. And I was like, I'm on Kings Road. And I was out on the evening with work. And he's like, do yourself a favour. I can get on the train and just get home with you. I was like, why? So that's fucking one of the roughest estates in London behind there. And I was like, it's Kings Road. I think Made in Chelsea was on that. So I thought it was Kings Road. I thought it was really smart. He went, yeah, but just round the corner.
Yeah, no, it's some of the even what's that one in the A2? Kidbrook.
Yeah,
I've got this fucking flu. Yeah, Kidbrook is bad.
Is it? Yeah.
Well, it was.
Where's that, Kidbrook?
On the A2, come through the Blackwell Tunnel.
Yeah.
And on the right now, it's now a village. You look at it now, it's all been done up. Got a few fountains, little lake in the middle.
Canton Town's gone the same.
Yeah, it's like
Town
saying,
now. It's
Walthamstow Village. Have you been in there?
Yeah, they reckon that's the best place to live. It's not. It's a shithole. They're all shitholes.
Our caterers for our wedding had a place there. And they said, come up to our restaurant first and you can try some of the food there before we cater for the wedding.
Yeah.
So whereabouts? It's in Walthamstow Village. I was like, fucking, what?
Yeah,
and I was like, where is that? I said, East 17. I was like, that's definitely Walthamstow then. I was like, that's not a fucking village. I'm not having it.
If you look at you look at the Spurs ground now, and you've got the North Circular.
Yeah.
I reckon within a couple of years, you go along the North Circular, look left, you won't be able to see the Spurs ground.
Okay.
There's all that round IKEA. They're building all new estate or new because of the Meridian Water.
Well,
So that'll all be tower blocks like Northumberland, Tottenham Hale. Been to Tottenham Hale lately?
Yeah, no, I haven't been there for a while.
So the roundabout, you can't see it's all gone now. It's just all tower blocks.
Yeah.
All glass offices and, housing.
That power plant they're building up at Edmonton.
Yeah, Eco Park.
The idea of that is it's going to supply hot water for heating to all the local houses.
Is it really? Just
Part
like that?
of the idea of it.
Yeah, there you go. All good? Hello and welcome to Construction Sport Podcast. Once again, our dear friends at Elite Project Services, Mr. Martin Dunne.
Hello.
CEO, do you class yourself as?
Nah, just director.
MD.
MD. Yeah, CEO is a posh word, isn't it? We're not posh at Elite. Definitely not posh.
And Mr. Ian Keane, old friend of the pod. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. You all right?
Welcome. Are you nervous? Hanging on. Martin's done a couple before now, pods.
Yeah, a couple of pods. Done one last week.
Is your virginity, is it, Ian? Your
Yeah, it will be,
first
yeah.
go?
Yeah.
We done the British Business podcast a few years back, wasn't it? So we had to go on that. That was interesting. That was when I done Keeping Up with the Kerrs Lake beforehand. But how was everything at Elite Project Services?
Ian?
Services?
Bit quiet.
No, it's,
Well, a bit busy coming up.
yeah, the pipeline is huge. I
Yeah,
think, CP7 hasn't kicked off on the network rail side. When that goes, it's going to be manic. Underground's obviously ticking over, isn't it?
Yeah, ticking over.
Lots of work in the pipeline there, which is great.
What is CP7 then? When people say it, that is the budget side of things, isn't it, from Network Rail? Am I right in saying?
It's the control period money for every 5 years. They allocate, the government allocated, didn't they, to Net Rail.
Yeah.
They give them a pot of money across all regions, and obviously this next 5 year budget. So it started last April. To be fair, I'm not really. I don't think it affects me massively because it's all the tier ones and tier twos that get all the work, and I just nibble at the bottom.
Yeah.
And I'm happy just to nibble.
Yeah.
A lot of companies they grow to a certain level where I am now, and then they get greedy and they go try and take on these big projects, and I don't like risk.
There's a lot of risk with the railway world as well. Like we was just saying, wasn't it? Everyone we know, we committed to getting our PGSs all done, then suddenly no work again.
Yeah. You get dropped light.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And Network Rail trying to do anything about it, trying to maintain a workflow or anything, or was that a subjective conversation?
I just think it's, for what I see, people could probably argue with me and have different opinions, but what I see is weak management. I see clever people that see weak management and they exploit it. So someone will price a job and they go in cheap, they win it, then they just know they're going to make loads of money from add-ons.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. They just go, well, we ain't going to actually deliver the work until we sort this and this. But they're still investing in all their business. They're still paying all their staff with a markup.
Yeah.
But the low-paid worker is the one that suffers.
Yep.
Because there's no work for actually delivering the work. It's all for management, senior management, planning, design. And that's where it all gets squandered for a long time. And then the worker comes in at the end and they go, we ain't got much money left for the rest of it.
Yeah.
we'll just have to reduce the rates, and then you get poor service. And that's, I see a lot of happening now, a lot of poor service on the railway.
So what is the service that Elite Project provides for the listener?
I think we do all right. We're not great.
So what is it you do? You say safety critical as well as taking on a bit of hands-on
Yeah,
work
so
as well?
we're at the moment, we're doing safety critical, which is probably the most hardest on the railway. I think I have a completely different approach to a lot of companies. With certain COSs and safety staff I won't employ. There's got to be a working COS, which you get laughed at by 80% of people. London labour is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get lads from Kent, they're pretty good. Northern lads are not so bad. You know, the Welsh lads, but London labour is terrible, Steve.
Is it?
Oh, it's terrible, mate.
For people just want to come and sit back.
Just sit in a car, easy job, DOS job, you know, cheapest job in the world. It's just, yeah, it's poor. And what you got is, I personally think you got agencies that are just bums on seats.
Yeah.
So I'm going to a client and I'm saying, they ask me my capability and I'm saying this is what I can deliver. And they're going, well, everyone else says they can deliver that. I said, if you want 60 blokes that are rubbish, I'll give you 60 blokes that are rubbish. But out of 100, you're only going to get 40 decent.
Yeah.
So I just say I can get the 40, but the other 60, I'm not promising you. And then they go back and go, oh, we don't want to use you because the capability for these other companies is much better.
Yeah.
Then they just send them 60 rubbish.
Well, that's the thing as well, the bums of seats, isn't it? They just want bodies out there. They don't care the level of what it is.
Yeah, the
and
quality.
then they just pay the lowest.
You would have
as
seen
well.
it on Crossrail.
Yeah.
When you were
Massively.
down at Chad Weave, weren't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you'll find the project size, they take pride in what they're doing, don't they? So
Yeah.
you'll find that the core staff are your more experienced, the ones who want to do the work, who want to deliver it to the spec. But yeah, it's the bums on seat side.
Yeah, so I think, especially Crossrail, it's like we must have 7 traffic marshals to each welfare cabin at every station.
Yeah.
Like the
But that's
road.
Crossrail ruined it, didn't it? Crossrail, I worked at Crossrail
It
West.
probably
for 6
does,
years.
yeah, you're right.
It ruined it. So everyone expects that level of work now. So I remember when Crossrail finished, I worked for Vinci, and the rates we were paying COSs was horrendous, like high. Yeah. And as soon as Crossrail finished, everyone was like, I want £24 an hour, like pay rate for a COS. Yeah. And it just wasn't there. And
Is the COS the least paid job on the railway now?
100%.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense in itself, really, does it? I know it's probably, or does it make sense? What's your opinion on that? Because I kind of think you're supposed to be the most clued up one there looking after people, isn't you? But
I think the problem with COSing is there's a lot of COSs coming into the industry now that they need to have that working mentality. I look at the railway, when I go into my prisons and talk to guys about the railway, you've got 3 jobs on the railway. You've got work, DOS and sleep in safety critical worlds.
yeah,
There's plenty of DOSing jobs and there's plenty of sleeping jobs, but no one wants to work. As soon as you come straight into safety critical, you're aiming straight away for that DOSing and sleeping job. Mm-hmm. And what I'm saying to lads is, if you've got the attitude to work, companies like me, small businesses, will keep you regular working. Mm-hmm. If you want DOSing and sleeping jobs, go to the agencies.
yeah,
You know, technically I'm an agency as well, but go to the big agencies and they'll give you loads of it. Mm-hmm. But when they don't need you, they just won't ring you. Mm-hmm. But this is the problem. Yeah. And then I say, well, look, come work for me. I'll give you 5 days a week. But you have to work hard some of them days. But some of the days you can get some of these DOSing jobs.
Yep.
But they do a bit of work and then they see the DOSing job. Oh, it's just hard.
yeah. Just sat in it.
It's like people ring me up and they say, well, I see you're advertising for staff. And when you mention working COSs, that's how I'd say, looking for working COSs. They laugh at you.
Yeah. Because there was a period of time where was it many projects where they don't allow working COSs, but then they want a separate COS?
Yeah,
Do you
but
find that?
It's not a working COS as in working. It's a COS with a working at.
Yeah.
I'll help out. I'll pick the bucket up.
Yeah.
You know, we're not asking them to dig holes. We're not asking them to be part of the group working and digging.
Yeah.
We're just asking them to be part of the team.
Yeah.
What their attitude is, no, I don't pick a shovel up. I don't pick a bucket up. I'm not going to carry any materials down and help you. Yeah. Even in the car park before we're, obviously when you're site-based, you've got to be the COS, protecting people from trains. That's the duty of a COS.
Yep.
Keep you safe on the line. In the car park, look, lads, we've got an hour and a half. Can we just muck in? And not interested.
No.
There is good guys.
Yep.
It's hard finding them.
Yeah.
And then keep them.
How long have you been going?
5 years.
5 years. Yeah. And Ian, you're new to the team, aren't you?
Yeah.
At Christmas time.
Yeah.
All going. He's got growing year on year.
We grow every year. We've grown again this year, a little bit more than last year, I think, financially, which is good for us because we've had no rail work really. I had a little bit at the end of last year, and yeah, it's been really quiet on the rail. So the underground's kept us busy. The prisons obviously keep you busy.
How was it getting set up as a company to start with? So we always hear millions of things about getting all in place, accreditations. There's Achilles link up and all that.
No, it wasn't as hard. Be careful what I say, really. It wasn't really hard. I don't think.
You don't want people flooding the industry now, do you?
Everyone's on it, aren't they? Like setting a business up. I just took a punt.
Yeah.
I set up with 2 people. Didn't work out. I just carried it on myself. It's just, I just found it was I didn't find it too hard at first. It wasn't massive financial burden on it, and it was the risk was pretty straightforward at first. Each year, obviously, they audit you harder because obviously you grow and you do more things. But yeah, I mean, it's the end.
Straightforward to get through an audit. Just a lot of
paperwork. What I've learned over the years is keep on top of it as the year goes through.
Yeah.
I think everyone at the start gets on top of it. It comes to their first audit and they'll run around the month before sorting out all their paperwork. But we try and we try and do it monthly now, which is you should be doing.
Yep.
Just having the right people in and making sure they're on top of it.
You've been for a few audits, haven't you?
How many years, yeah. But one thing, you're saying about busy developing, I've known you far too many years. 10 years now.
A long time, yeah.
I've seen the company grow, and I can see where Mike wants to take it. I can see there's obviously we've got the prison work, we've got the training. There's areas where they can all work together to develop it and push things and do things right. I think that's one of the key things you want to do. Mike wants to do things right, which is great.
Yeah.
And you do.
No, I do. I think I care.
Yeah, that's it.
I care about my staff, yeah. And I'm good to my staff, and I'm sure they'll agree with that. But sometimes the law you get back is not always the same.
Yeah.
And that does upset me sometimes because you try and help people, and I think, it's hard to keep everyone happy.
Yep.
I think you're at a stage now in the business where there is the option to really
we're growing this year.
Really grow. This year is, I think, a real growth year for you. What's coming up, what's already in the pipeline, and what's looking at without what's going to happen with Network Rail once CP7 gets in.
So does that CP7 cover London Underground as well?
No.
Is that separate?
That's separate.
They're doing all right, the Underground.
Yeah. Underground is just going through tendering for a lot of the new projects.
Your past is quite a lot of Underground.
Yeah, it's mainly Underground. So I've been there too many years.
Yeah.
To mention, obviously the Balfour Beat, it's strange. Balfour Beat are obviously no longer on the Underground on the contract, not on the what was the integrated track team, but that's an end of an era. It's like over 20 years I've been working with those guys, but they're now a lot of them moving into LU. Obviously, a lot of the LU frameworks will come up for renewal April next year. So we're on the final year. Obviously, they are going through the tender process now for the lot, the track especially. So obviously they build new bodies, but obviously on the side of that you've got things like the Piccadilly line upgrade, which is
that's keeping them massive at the moment. Yeah,
is it? Yeah. So that's our biggest thing.
Yeah, it's our biggest thing at the moment. It's keeping us busy. We've got a couple of little jobs coming up. We've got one at Northfields. This is not good, mate.
You've got Cockfosters.
Cockfosters.
What's the crap with London Underground? Is that a whole new accreditation system you got to have as well then?
No, you need the WSI, didn't you?
Yeah, for same. You need your risks, don't you? And then the certification is different. WSI, base track awareness.
Is it what everyone says? Where you go to work at 12, you start at 1, you come off at 3, you're in bed by 4.
But that's what ruins it.
That's all I've ever heard about. I've never been on the Underground, but everyone says, we're getting underground. I do half hours work.
I can remember days on Balfour's when it used to be 10 o'clock at the yard, from the yard to site, after site back to the yard, leave the yard at 6 o'clock in the morning. So
I think the 6 o'clock I can understand, but that's the problem. So when you're a bricklayer or you're a ground worker like you, Steve, in doing civils, you start at 8, and if you get away at 3, you've had a good day.
Yeah.
And if you come in Saturday morning and get away at 11:30, you've had a brilliant week. Mm-hmm. The mentality is that on the railway, when you are staff, when you go back to COSS, for example, so the shifts from 10 till 7 or 10 till 6, 8 or 9 hours, depending on client, you get a midweek. So I say, look, what's the shift? And I say 10 till 7. And they go, no, what's the shift time? 10 till 7. They go, what time we got to be in? And I go 10 till 7.
Yeah.
Right? And then you get, this is new guys, and then you get them and say, right, look, ring them up and say, can you be in at 12? And then they get their safe work pack that they've not even read, and they've signed for another one, and it says 1:45. They fucking turn up at 1:30. And then they go, have you signed him in the yes? No, I don't know where the yes is. It was on the email. Oh, I didn't see the email. And it's the same with the underground.
Yeah.
You got the short nights, and then like this weekend we got a blockade and 12-hour shifts. No one's interested.
It's just developed in lazy people, wasn't it? I suppose
No one's
over the last
interested.
years.
You go back to possession work. Possession work weekends, the hardest shift to fill was always Saturday night.
Yeah.
Because
Got to do a 10-hour shift.
they'd be on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. Their shift times on a Friday night will be 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock start, but they wouldn't get on track till 2 o'clock, so they know they're not going to have to get to site till midnight.
Yeah.
So it's a shorter shift. The Sunday shift as well, they're off site by 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still getting paid longer, but that Saturday night, they're doing the full 9 hours work.
Yeah. We used to see that.
It's unfortunate, but it's educating the people that there's the rough with the smooth.
Yeah.
You know, we used to run it that, it's going back over 10 years ago, that 5 shifts a week, but it could be 3 shifts at the weekend that you do, and then 2 shifts midweek. And that worked well.
No one's interested at the weekends.
I noticed a lot more, not you guys, but there's a few companies who've been out and seen, and I noticed more since I come off the rail full time 4 years ago. There's a lot more people double shifting now, in terms of
They're all doing it
off the rail during the day, back on, even to the point of they're turning up to the shift and network rail shift in a Dave the Bricky van, and you're like,
it's like Ian saying about £114 a night. Umbrella. What are you taking home? 60 quid?
Yeah.
70 quid? You've got a double shift.
Yeah, exactly that. You have to do it.
Network know about it. LEO know about it. But what they do is they go to companies and they go, we trust in you. You're doing all your due diligence. Yeah. What they do and what people do, I can't, I don't know if he's in a construction site in the day.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're double rail shifting.
Yeah.
But they're either Uber driving a I don't know, for, what's it called? Amazon.
Yeah.
It could be on a building site.
Yeah.
And there's no way of checking that.
Definitely going up.
You ask them, and it's no, that's not doing.
Yeah.
And they're normally the ones that are late.
And they say,
don't get into 1:30.
In a way, I think we're lucky with what we're doing down on the LU, because obviously the guys, they're rotating days and nights. And
Yeah.
So therefore, hopefully, they haven't got that day job, because occasionally they haven't to work on days.
Yeah.
Likewise, the nights.
Or they've got babysitting duties them days. When you ask them to work days, then you know. Oh, no, I've got babysit. My missus works in the day. But, you was on days the other month.
Yeah.
And that never wasn't a problem.
Strategically
Yeah,
done.
it's not, listen, it ain't easy, Steve.
No. And they've got the life-saving rules, haven't they? And that obviously they're in place to save all that, shall we say?
Look, Steve, you know,
Yeah.
When I listen to you talk, and you're very passionate and you're very outspoken, and you speak how you feel, which is good, and you know the industry. There's a lot of positive that's come out of safety, but a lot of it's just a tick in a box, and deep down, no one really gives a shit. No. Like you say,
definitely,
they don't really give a shit. As long as it doesn't happen on my site, and I've ticked all my boxes, if they double shift, not my problem. As long as the job goes well.
Yeah.
As long as Monday morning, because what happens is Monday morning, job goes shambles all weekend, goes in front of the directors or the route managers, or and go, how's the weekend go? Yeah, handed back on time, all went well. They just don't talk about all the problems.
Yeah.
We had some fatigue guys, we had guys that looked like they've not slept all night. It's because there's a small tier of every business or every job that brings the job through. And the rest of it is just problems. And we see it a lot. And, we're not perfect. No. I'm not criticising everyone else. I'm just saying the industry is tough. You're dealing with human beings, trying to keep everyone sweet, tough pay structures, tough companies to deal with, poor management, poor right at the very top level. It's tough.
The health as well. I touched on the mental health side of it as well. You guys have seen it. Are Network Rail and is society really aware of what everybody sees? When people work on the railway, what they actually see firsthand, and does Network Rail's actual support or company support warrant that in terms of just fatalities all the time? And then, you guys must have come across it many times where you've jobs get cancelled because there's been a jumper or all that kind of stuff. But you don't hear much of that in those life-saving rules. I always found. I was like, you've got these
what you mean, non-track jumpers or
non-track jumpers? People, just society
trains and
we had it on Crossrail a lot. A bit hard to get across really, but people were just taking their own lives. Harold Wood had a couple, and a few people were present at the time.
I won it in Broadway. Yeah, a woman and a baby jumped in front of a train when I was there at the station.
Yeah. And what was there any support given to you guys?
Nothing, zero.
Yeah, this is it, isn't it? But it's an everyday occurrence for a rail worker, isn't it? To see that. I know, well, there's probably people we know who rail workers have stepped in front of trains, isn't it? I know so the names, but yeah, we had one. Well, who was on Crossrail.
They're talking about the fire service now with that Grenfell. They're not even giving it to them, are they?
No. And if you look at that, we've spoken to a lot of that, the fire brigade, and also we worked with a lot of scaffolders who were part of that job as well, and the problems that they've had, cancers, suicides, fucking people going doolally, mental breakdowns, who have been on that job, because the scaffolders were the first ones up there to enable the firemen to kind of get from the outside in a way, but obviously afterwards. But the firemen obviously done what they done. But scaffolders, we've got people we know who've spoke about and got photos, who they've offered the photos to emergency services because they said, look, we just put the scaffold up, we can see through this window on this floor. There's a load of trainers and body, it just remains. And a lot of those people, and there's some stories there about the scaffolders, and one of them just literally come down and just had enough, and he was just like, I can't do this, and he hit the alarm and set the alarm off for everywhere, and all the police were turning up thinking there was another major incident, but he just literally he just lost it completely. But it's all kind of uncovered or disregarded, isn't it?
This goes back to obviously. I know you came and spoke tonight, guys. It's all PTSD, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be, isn't it? Yeah. So
they spend the money on the inquiry, though, didn't they?
Yeah, love an inquiry.
There's plenty of money of that, isn't there?
Yeah, that's the demolition side of it's just come out, isn't it? They're talking about, Mark Anthony talking about last week about them now taking it down, and there's a lot of people saying now they want it to stay, and it's like, there's a big argument between that now, isn't there?
They're saying that obviously it's being held up at the minute is the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, it's being held up.
It's being held up by the sports and that within there. So obviously, how long can they stay in there?
Yeah. Do you work around that way, West London?
No, you see it when you go past, didn't you?
Yeah.
Remind you. That's what people are saying. This take a right. I don't think you can ever forget that.
Yeah. Someone's talking about, but you look at the World Trade Centers and what they've done with that now. They've made it a memorial. What's amazing and still quite warming rather than as cold as it obviously was. Yeah. But why they shouldn't do something like that with it. But we will see. But the prison side of it, you mentioned it just now then. So you get involved with the prison side of recruitment, should we say, or education in terms of getting into Civvy Street, is it?
Rehabilitation.
Rehabilitation.
What's that mean? Do you know what it means? It's a made-up word.
Yeah.
No, I had a good meeting last week, actually. I went to, I got invited to a round table with James Timpson, who's the Justice Secretary, and then there was all the heads of all the different departments there. There was head of Ofsted, there was the prison inspectorate was there, a guy called Charlie. I upset him, I think. I was actually well behaved. I was told to behave, and I did. And there was a lot of governors there.
But you just, people don't know, you just obviously told it straight.
But it was interesting because they all had the same idea, and the Ofsted condemned the prison service. He absolutely condemned them. Like he said, it's a shambles, which was quite warming that they was quite upfront. But does anything actually happen after?
Yeah.
And we sat around the table. Everyone had the same views.
Yeah.
And nothing changes. You know,
that's the thing they can talk about all day long, isn't it? But are they delivering it?
No.
Yeah.
So the prisons is good for me. I'm at a stage now with them really where I'm a bit disheartened.
Yeah.
I just think it's a waste of time. You don't seem to get anywhere. You know, we've got people jobs and we're doing the right thing, and I know 60% of my staff at the moment are ex-prisoners on my project. It works. But I look at it like the M25. I'm travelling along in the middle lane doing a good job, and everyone's taking me over on the fast lane and nicking all the money.
Yeah.
Because big business prisons, it's a big money-making business. And people say to me, Mike, you're not a good businessman because you put your morals before business. But I walked out of prison 10 times for fuck all, and no one helped me. So it's nice to help some people when I've got that ability to do it.
Yep.
And everyone's going, fuck that, we can make loads of money out of it, Mark. There's bigger ways to make money the way you do it. And they're all doing it. Yep. And they're selling the dream to the prison service and the government are going, this is amazing. What a great thing. And just people are failing, people coming out of prison. And I think it's getting worse. And you talk about mental health. So let me just get into people's heads so they understand. an average day in a prison out of your cell with a job, a good job, is about 6 to 7 hours maximum. So you're banged up 17 hours a day. That's a prisoner who's on a good job, who gets out on a decent day. Unlock in the morning, unlock at lunch. I mean, afternoon, you might get a little bit even association, which is very rare in prisons now. But the general prisoner in the London prison especially, and the city prisons are doing between 20 and 22 hours a day bang up. Then you're releasing them in the community with not much support, and they talk about mental health.
Yeah.
I don't need a calculator or to be a rocket scientist to figure that out.
Yep.
That any normal, family, sensible, clued up guy with no drug or issues is going to have mental health problems, as well as obviously people that have a little bit of mental health going into prison or come from a poor background and struggle. Then you're releasing them in the community. Yeah. 22 hours a day, every day. With two other people in a cell, in some cases, shitting in the same toilet.
Yeah.
It's mental.
And you expect them to be normal and rehabilitated.
Correct.
Yeah. That's just, I suppose it's humane. It's like an animal, isn't it? You put an animal in a cage for a day and it's going to send that
But
back,
no one talks about that.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about rehabilitation and what we've supported them and we're putting on education courses.
General society, I don't really know much about it, but people don't realise how people are banged up. They think they're all messing around outside in the prisons or doing what they're doing in the canteens and that. But no, they're literally in that canteen or outside for an hour a day, 2 hours a day.
Well, there is some prisons that are easier.
Yeah.
But in general, so a good day in prison is you get up at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
You go work to about 11:30, come back from work, and you stay on the wing to about 12:30, get your lunch, and then you bang up from 12:30 to about 1:45, 1:30. So the staff can have their lunch. You get out about 1:30, 1:45, then you're out again till 4:30 work, and then you start to about 5:30, 6.
Yeah.
And most people go behind their door, and that's it. Yeah. And that's Monday to Friday. Then that's if you work. Now, in a lot of prisons with staffing levels, especially in the London prisons, they don't have enough staff.
Yeah.
So that wing has planned morning association, where everyone gets out to go to phone, shower, bit of yard, bit round the wing, play a bit of pool, no staff. So they shut down that wing because that staff extra's got to go to another wing to open that wing. And they're just a constant rotation of trying to keep the wings open.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously,
they short staffed as well.
Short staffed.
Yeah, massively. Yeah. And are they packed as they say they are, the prisons? Filled up?
Well, they're empty at the moment because they're letting everyone out on the early release scheme, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, but if you look at...
But have you heard from some of these people being released?
Yeah, they come for our programme.
Yeah. But is there some have come out and you think, how the fuck have you got out?
There's some people they shouldn't have released, and some people, they should release, but it's... Again, the public don't understand. The Labour government came in and told the prison service, instructed them, an instruction, you must release people under our early release scheme. Probation service is telling them, we ain't got nowhere to put them and we ain't got enough staff to manage them. The prison service, look, we're instructed, as per instruction, by the prison service to release, or by the government to release them. Yeah. They just released them. Yeah. And people are coming out and the probation service are not ready for them. So what's the easiest way to stop all that? Just recall them back to prison.
Yeah.
So to get them out, they give, if you don't play the game to 100% and you miss an appointment, which I know you should always turn up, or they see any risk. Yeah. I've got nowhere to live. I'm living around my mate's house who's a criminal. Risk, send him back. And they send you back to prison. Yeah. And it's easy done, isn't it? It reduces my workload. And that's how I see it.
Yeah.
No one wants the workload. No. And that's why the prisons are full. Not because of more people going to prison, because of the recourse to prison.
Yeah. Is prison getting rougher because of it all? Because of the levels of...
Yeah, because you're banged up in your cell 22 hours a day and you're mentally struggling. Even the well-behaved prisoners have their moments.
Yeah.
Because you're banged up all them hours.
More violence going on?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that side because I'm not really involved, but I'm sure the violence would be, there's a lot more. The gang culture is is a key, isn't it?
Yeah, it's survival.
I think you find in prison as well, the prison officer's not the same. Rightly or wrongly, a prison officer run the prison 20 years ago. They don't run the prison now.
The prisoners do,
The prisoner do. But they don't run around with keys, they don't run around, but it's contained. And it's easy to contain it, isn't it? just contain it, and then eventually, every so often, we'll have a little purge and we'll go in and we'll take out the ringleaders and we'll ship them out. But day-to-day prison life is, it's...
I think what I've noticed in there as well is the prison guards are going in there are younger. They're getting younger and younger. And when you've got these people being there 10, 15 years.
Manipulated. Yeah.
Well, not manipulation, but life skills. They haven't yet got the life skills to be able to manage and work with these people.
Guys in prison are clever, mate. Even the...
Who's added before, so you got a lot of time to think about what you're doing.
Of course you have. You're entrepreneurs. Like, I always say this, so when I was a naughty boy, my background was violence and robbery. And I used to always laugh. When I used to go and do a robbery, I used to go and buy my tools. My mate used to go to me, what are you going to fucking buy the tools for? I'm not going to shoplift. I never fucking shoplifted in my life.
Yeah.
But I used to rob. But a drug addict, a heroin addict, like a proper heroin addict, will go in Lakeside Shopping Centre and security would go, Steve Kersey's here. Yeah, Steve Kersey's here.
Yeah.
And they'll all follow them. And they'll come out with still stuff in their jacket. That's a skill.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, high on drugs, drug dependent. You think they're not with it. Their concentration is getting that jacket because they need to feed their habit. Or they wake up in the morning. But I'm talking about the range set. And then you've got obviously clever guys in prison that are in for millions of pounds or hundreds of thousands of pounds of drugs, doing deals with people all around the world. Then they're going into a prison and they see avenues. And like you said, the staff are easy manipulated because years ago it was ex-police officers, ex-military.
Yeah.
They lived in Essex, but they worked in London, or they lived in Hertfordshire. But now it's all local staff. Yeah. And what you find is a lot of it is, I went to school with her, I went to school with him.
Wow, yeah.
And what happens is there's more drugs in prison now to ever, and they say that most of it comes in by staff.
Yeah. Are drones playing havoc?
Yeah, drones are, yeah.
Yeah, so everything's been dropped into people not to smuggle.
Well, they can Google, they can put them on their phone now, and it comes to the window.
Yeah.
Or like you have a set regime, and certain prisons have nets. You go in some prisons, and nets are all ripped.
Are they? Yeah.
So what you do is people are there every day going, and they're figuring out all the hotspots.
We even see, I went to the Mount, Saracens Rugby Club, the pitch they got there, and even looking at the aerials and the ways they had TVs working, or the aerials were hanging out these buildings and that, or just washing lines of things, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You think, crazy what they made it out of.
Yeah,
and you can see them walking along from all the windows.
Remember, that's their home.
Yeah.
People are living there for years, like the Mount to Cat Sea. So there'll be people in there doing 3 or 4 or 5 years in that prison sometimes.
Yeah.
And you have to adapt. Prisons it's a world, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're going to work every day. You're doing your podcast today. You're going to go home and then they're waking up every day and they're figuring out how I'm going to make a living today. Mm-hmm. Some of them do it legally and some of them do it illegally.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's a mad world, yeah.
We had a guy on site, house bashing job years ago, and he come out and he's out at prison and he said, right, I've got all my tickets. I can do this, I can do that. He didn't. And it was pretty much all, I suppose, city and guilds and all this, and it wasn't accepted on the job we're on, so it was regardless. But he had literally a whole file of facts of literally every single certificate he had, what he got from in prison. But when he come to site, none of them were actually of any use because they didn't take them. Is that a thing now? Because you guys are trying to get PTSs in there.
It is better. There is much better courses.
Yeah.
There's 2 ways, but they're still very old-fashioned, the old establishment type of training in prison still. But there is better. There's a thing called DPS that we use. The DPS system, you can build a course and sell it to the governor.
Okay.
And then the governor goes, this is a good idea. And that's what we do. But like you said, it's been taken over. So talking about city and guilds. So city and guilds and Intertrain are in High Point, and they've built a training centre there. And to be fair, it's the bollocks.
Is it? Yeah.
It's like lovely. It's like Prada, Gucci. It's all the bee's knees. But what the funny thing is you got High Point, and all the surrounding prisons are meant to send all their prisoners to High Point to do this course. Mm-hmm. But all the other surrounding prisons are saying, well, we're doing a course for Elite Project Services. So I found out a little story the other week, what a coincidence, that someone has reported me to Network Rail and the prison service that my course is dodgy. Yeah, and it came from someone in the Intertrain that told someone privately, that told me privately. Yeah. What coincidence. Yeah.
Competition.
So they're running a program like mine, but I do very short base. PTS, few small tools, get them out to work.
Yep.
They're doing this long 6 week.
Yeah.
It's a good thing, but I just do it shortly. I'm very passionate about get the guys PTS, get them on site, see what they're like.
Yep.
If they're any good, push them up the tree. If they're no good, just leave them doing what they're doing. What you're saying is now is like with the prisons, they put them on these long-winded courses.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you put someone on MVQ before job? Job MVQ is job-based.
Yep.
So what you do is you do a 12-week MVQ rail course now and go, there you go, mate, go and find yourself a job. No, I was always thought that an MVQ was give me a job and we'll put you on MVQ, correct?
Yeah, 100%. Learn on the job. Speaking of, isn't it?
But now it's all pre-job. It's where the money is.
So can they get a PTS card, a personal track safety card, in prison with what you're doing, or you have to get out and have a little bit of experience?
So, high point now, to be fair, we're doing some of it in the prison, but not with a track walk.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're looking at a model to do the same, because that's what the prison are asking us.
Yeah. You get CSCS card?
Yeah.
Prisons. You can you?
Some prisons do the green cards.
Yeah.
We done the USR, but they put a stop on it now at the end of this month, didn't they?
Yes, they did, didn't it? Yeah. That's my theory, is that they're just not getting enough of these CSCS cards in people's hands, and they're making it so complicated to get them, and then they wonder why there's a shortage of staff in the industry. But my card's a labourer's card. I always joke about it. I've got a labourer's card. I don't qualify for anything else, let alone having everything we do here and through the business, and got SMSTS and first aid, and I think McGee, temporary works ticket and all this, but none of it transfers over to actually being more than a labourer on site. So I've just got a labourer. But we know engineers, senior engineers at tier ones who are operating off labourers' cards as well. So the whole system's messed up, isn't it? And I think the CITB are under a lot of pressure now. There was something come out the other day. I think the engineer CITB or EITB or something like that is the equivalent, and they're saying they've got to start combining and working together to make this better, because I'm not sure if people are losing a little bit of faith or trust in the way the CITB are running.
I think there's a lot of training is made up now.
Yeah.
The add-ons. Yeah. It's big money, isn't it?
Yeah. Look at mental health first aid. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's an absolute quids in.
Yeah.
I can go to a 6-day course, I think it is, pay a couple of grand or something to do the course, and then once I've got that, I can then I'm now for mental health first aid a trainer, and I can charge £2,000, 1,500 to £2,000 for a course. What's 2 days? So you're on £800 to £1,000 a day to go in and train. Yeah. And there is proof and evidence, and we've got reports sent over to us from people high in the industry, I suppose, who have proven that it's ineffective. Like, it's not like to that degree. It's like people doing this plastering. Their course is probably half decent, but they're relying on it to be the fixer of everything. Yeah. And it's just not. And now we're ending up with just more figures up, and there's millions and millions of pounds put into it. But you don't even get told there's a refresher course or a reminder, or there's nothing official. It's just like a choice. You can do a refresher if you want to. It's not like you have to go and do this. So it's like, it's not, what's the word? It's not regulated, basically. It's just literally someone's made up a course and stuck it out there. And a lot of people.
But it ticks the boxes, isn't it? It's everyone's on health. Everyone's got their first aid. Everyone's got their health and safety. Yeah. Everyone's got their mental health.
Yeah.
You know, if people look at you and go, how many mental health staff you trained have you got? And you say 0, they go, oh, we're not touching them.
Yeah.
But people go on it, and a lot of people are just doing it just to tick the box.
Yeah. We get so many people approach us that we've done this, or different cases, and people are dealing with staff members as if they're their fucking clients. They're like, I've got a patient. One of them told me, we've got 2 patients at the moment struggling. I was like, what do you mean fucking patients? We've been around their house last night to speak to them about it because they're struggling. I'm like, you ain't equipped in your own head to deal with this stuff. Yeah. You know, you've done a 2-day, you've done a 1-day course, a 1-week course on it, and now you're taking on people's serious issues. I can't handle it, that's for sure. I don't know. I done the course years ago, and I thought that I come off the back of it, and people were coming to me like, I want to kill myself. Can you help me? I'm like, no, I can't. I don't know how to. I can put you in touch with people who do know how to do it, but I ain't got a clue. But the industry, the same thing. It's just like
the mental health. I don't think they don't take it seriously.
No, it's not. Yeah, sorry. How can you think you're trained by doing a 1-week course to help people in such a strange place? But construction
after R4, no one's there, are they?
No. Yeah,
they're only there Monday to Friday, or you speak to the health and safety people, or whose health and safety's are. Oh, she's off this week. Well, who's took it over? Oh no, you have to email, and then next week. Well, next week I won't be here.
And like you say, it's all senior management or middle management who ain't on site. Yeah, because they're the employed ones, and they don't mind spending some money on to train them up.
Yeah, of course, yeah. You
ain't gonna do it self-employed, lad, because you won't be there next week.
Yeah. I think it goes back to men just don't talk. It's those with the issues do not speak to people. They let it niggle it until it goes too far. And, you know, we've proven it with construction sport. You know, people we've spoke to and that have been out on a day out and they open up.
Yep.
And I think, you know, it works. It does work.
Yeah.
You know,
I think from my side, from me, before I set up Elite, I would say to you, mental health, grow up.
Yeah.
Stop being a pussy, yeah? But running a business, it's hard work. And mentally, I struggle a lot lately over the last couple of years because it's just pressure. You know, my job every Thursday is to pay everyone. And I think I do a good job at it. But what you have to deal with to get there and keep everyone happy, client, staff, issues, no money, more money, less money, waiting for money, chasing money, you know, daily business. And then you got family issues and then you're going home. It's a strain. And a lot of people I find is, like you said, men don't want to talk about it, but sometimes men, the ones that everyone thinks are these superheroes. Like I always think with me, some people think I'm this, you know, Martin's all right, yeah, Martin's sweet, Martin done, you know, we're all human beings, and men definitely hide it. Yeah. And, you know, sometimes I say to my wife, I just feel like crashing into a tree some days just to say, hello, I'm here. Yeah. You know, I'm not just, you know, just this monster guy, you know, this strong human being that just can take everything. You know, it's tough.
Yeah. Especially to go from a business. Because I used to go out when I first started doing this, thinking I was a ground worker. We're the only ones on the ground who are struggling. And then when you get in more and more rooms like today and all the boardrooms you go over the years, you go, shit.
Yeah,
like,
it's
the people, everybody at every level is under so much pressure, isn't it? And
I think it's the Western world, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I remember going to Egypt. I'll never forget this, going to Egypt a good few years back. We went up into the hills. And I went with this black cabbie. And he was from Wanstead. I'll never forget him. And his wife, she weren't a nice person. She'd had a few quid. He was all right. He was quite down to earth. And she really looked upon these people. And I remember talking to this guy, and the cab driver told me, he went, they have a better life than us. Because all I'm doing every day is out there trying to, you know, live the life that we live. And that's what the Western world does to people.
Massively.
You know, you go to certain countries and we will go, oh, look at these poor people with no money. But they're happy because they don't know any different. They ain't under pressure. They're not under constant restraints. They're not under constant pressure. Like in this country, you're encouraged to borrow money, but if you don't pay it back, we're going to persecute you and destroy your life.
And tax the head out of you for every...
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's a stress, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We go to Austria every year skiing, and we recently come back, and I still said to my wife, then it's so easy to live here. Just literally in the mountains, just get a job behind a bar, take enough just to feed you and put a roof over your head and cover the kids and all that, and just plod along and just enjoy it and just walk up every now and look at the mountains and enjoy life. But you get literally, and you arrive back at Stansted Airport and
it's mayhem again, isn't it?
It's just hell, isn't it? Yeah, but it's just more, do you see like pressure even in the prisoners struggle on the mental health stuff, even as prisoners?
Yeah, that's my point. Banged up all day.
Yeah, so they literally go pop.
Yeah, I think a lot of frustration is, you know, you're released from prison, you're back into the real world. It's like a job, yeah? People go, give him a job, it's going to change, he's rehabilitated. What a load of bullshit, yeah? I'll just say there's 10 points. Job's just one of them.
Yeah.
There's another 9 issues you've got to deal with. You know, people say to me, well, why should we give a shit about these people? Why do you care about prisoners? And why? Well, you're paying for it, Steve.
Yeah.
You want a good service. And you're not getting a good service. And that's what happens. So go burgle your house, go to prison, 100% right, correct. Deserves to go to prison and to get out there. You know, that's the law. But when he gets out, you're paying good money to stop him burgling your house. He gets out, gets screwed, doesn't get the support he needs, everyone's getting paid for, comes back and burgles your house.
Yeah.
And you, the public, going, he's a fucking scumbag. You need to lock him up for life. In some cases, some people don't deserve help. But 60%, I don't know that's an exact figure, but I say that middle ground of prisoners, you're getting paid good money for, lots of people. Yeah. And they're coming out of prison, mental health, no support, no work, no decent jobs, poor training, poor, like you said. I've got a bag in my loft. Well, it's not, it's in my back room there. and it's got all my old certificates from all prison sentences before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mate, you might as well throw it in the bin. I've just kept it. It's just my little, it's rubbish. They're just pure rubbish. I mean, like I said, it has improved. Yeah. But yeah, mental health is a massive, you know, I do respect you a lot, Steve, with the way you speak out and you shout and people.
We had it, didn't we, the other week? Steve came into us.
Yeah, when he came to us.
You could see the guys.
Yeah.
But people don't want to listen.
Guys and girls, really.
It's like with my LinkedIn. When I do a positive, I get loads of ticks. When I have a rant, and I'll stand by the rants, my rants are much better now because I chuck a bit of AI into it. Yeah, they go, fucking hell, Dunne's really gone. He must have gone to college for last year. No one likes it.
No.
Because people are frightened to like it in case their boss go, what are you liking that for?
Yeah, 100%. I see it all that all
and
the
I
time.
really notice it. Like when I have a proper rant, I think, you know, no one's really you get like 4,000 views.
Yeah.
But no, like you might get 30 likes.
You speak to people in person and they go, Steve, I love that what you put the other day.
Correct.
Like, didn't fucking like it or didn't comment or share it. Or, 100% we see it all. And almost the companies, certain tier 2 companies really, you see that didn't want to engage with us because they thought their clients won't like it. But then the next post we put out will be with their client doing something. And then suddenly they go back and they start liking stuff from the past. And that's been the hardest thing to win over. But we're getting there now where people are going, oh, actually, the leaders in this industry are starting to talk to us now and engage. And then people are coming back round and not afraid to like and share. Because people agree with it.
But you've got to be really careful, Steve, with passion. Because passion doesn't pay bills.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And I've learnt more and more over the years to be really careful what I say now. Sometimes I have a rant and I'll sit there at night and someone gets fucking on my tits and I'm back, my wife's sitting there going, who are you arguing with now? And I'm on there like 10 o'clock at night doing this LinkedIn and I read it and I go, then I've calmed down and I don't send it.
That's what I say.
Yeah, you should go back on it or wait till the following morning.
Right,
yeah.
Leave it to the following morning before you post it.
Because, you know, you got to play the game sometimes.
Yeah, it is that.
But sometimes you become them. It's like what you find in the prison system now is my course worked. I set it up in my head. So how my course started, I done it in Wormwood Scrubs 5 years ago and I winged it. I knew it was right because I've had sat in prison for years thinking about it. I wanted to do this. And I just winged it. And I winged it for a year. And within a year, I had 3 prisons. And within 5 years, I had 22. And I'm still running the same course. It works. But now what's happened with a lot of it is it's getting hijacked or the prison system want to do it this way and that way. Or that doesn't work. Well, if you don't do it this way, you don't get paid.
Yeah,
you're getting a bit of pressure.
Now you've identified, haven't you?
Do you know what I mean? So we're changing our course model. I won't talk about.
Can any prisoner take the course?
100%.
Yeah.
As long as it's no sex offence, no terrorism.
Oh, really? Yeah. And that's you stipulate.
So again, with the prison service, some prisons put pressure on me to take on more sex offenders or take on sex offenders. And I say to them, listen, I get it. I get your prison service and you have a duty of care to everybody. And as a business, I have meant to have a duty of care to everybody. But what people talk about in the pub, Steve, about Martin Dunne and Elite Project Services,
reputation,
is the reputation that will keep my business afloat.
Yep.
And there is certain companies out there in the prison system that are taking on sex offenders, and I just don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the political and ticking box side, I get, you know, you need to be equal and treat everyone the same, but the railway happens in a pub.
We had it at Crossrail. We had it at Crossrail, Gidea Park, Harold Wood. I was down at Shenfield, and at Harold Wood, someone rang me up. It was the supervisor on site. He'd gone to the site manager on site at Harold Wood there and said, just that you know, this guy can't be on. There's a guy who's returned to the car park to COSS the shift. He's a sex offender.
He didn't work for Elite.
And we got the phone call down at Shenfield. He said, can one of you come up and speak to this guy before he gets out of the car and comes in to get inducted? He said, I've told the guy to stay in his car for the time being. And I was a bit bemused of how this has come to light. And the guy, the supervisor, knew this guy from old and was like, I know of him. He can't be on this job. He said, what? He said, if he comes on this job, everyone's going to find out about him. And for his own safety, he can't be on this job.
Isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And we went up there. And I just had to go up to him, and I had to do it. I got up to his window and said, "Look, mate, sorry." I said, "The shift's been cancelled. You can get yourself off now." So and he got himself off. Yeah. We were out the company he's employed for. I said that we can't have him on this job. He's unsafe. We can't guarantee he's going to be safe on this job. Anyway, we Googled his name. He was actually a sex offender in Florida, in America. I don't know if he had a British passport and that's how he got back or what it was, but it come up, the name, and these offences they carried out in America X amount of years before, and then was now in the UK with it. But like I say, yeah, whatever your views are to it or not, isn't it? When you're putting them in an area where there's a group of masculine people there.
Everyone Googles everyone.
Yeah, I've had it before.
Everyone Googles everyone, yeah.
And bang, it's there, isn't it?
Steve Kersley.
I've had an email on site from one of the guys on site saying, "You've got this new guy here, he's this.
That was in the you told me that day.
Yeah. And I went, well, wait a minute. You've got the guy on site. Have you actually looked at the picture on the article? Yeah. Is it the same person?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. Well, have a look. It's completely different person, but that's what they're like.
Yeah. It is.
They hear a rumour, they want to check it.
Especially that sex offender stuff. That shit stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sticks.
A lot of people. So I've just gotten some frameworks, like sort of ex-offender programs in Kent. We'd start one tonight, actually. And people say to me, "Well, how'd you vet these guys? And what's there to vet? They're coming out of prison. They're working for me. They've done their due diligence. They've filled in an application.
Yep.
There's no difference to you taking on an ex-offender you don't know he's been in prison. He's just a COSS.
Yeah.
So when you ring an agency up and you go, "I want a COSS," or "I want a labourer," they'll just send you a COSS or a labourer. Mm-hmm. They don't go, "Oh, by the way, he's been in prison." What I'm telling you is these guys have been in prison. They've done my course. Yep. They're not sex offence or terrorism. Doesn't matter what crime they're in for, because what's the difference in trust?
Can you imagine putting someone down on London Underground who's been done 10 years in for terrorism?
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. It's bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people say, like, you got to vet these guys. What's there to vet? He's been in prison, he's out, he's served his time.
Yeah.
And if you want to know what he's in for, I'll tell you. He'll tell you himself.
Yeah.
I think the fact they're out, they're already classed as low risk.
Not all of them, but most. But the risk is a big word that gets hijacked. So when you commit certain offences, you come out of prison, you're a high risk offender. So people go, "Oh, he's high risk." No, he's not. He might have beat someone up in a pub badly, gone to prison for 10 years, and he might have come out a different person.
Yeah.
That was a one-off. People that kill people,
it's
a one-off.
Yeah, there's been we hear it, didn't you? There's little things. There's a little row in London the other day, and people pushing people about, and I just thought, if one of those bits fell over, bangs his head on the curb, you get done for manslaughter, so you would be released to risk because you're in for a violent offence, and that's just how the government, it's hard to explain to people, like, how you vet these people. But my argument is my course is successful, my training program is successful. Speaks for itself.
We don't have any major problems. We have minor problems we have to deal with, but not theft. Yep. Never had any theft, never had any violence. Had a few little odd arguments and that before. Yeah. But in general,
they do on site.
And it helps massively for you guys because you've been there, lived it and breathed it.
Yeah,
you know the system.
And the prisoners on site look after the prisoners on site.
Do they? Yeah.
It's like prison.
Yeah.
You have a hierarchy of prisoner, and you're the same on site. You have it the same in Eastern European community. You have the same in culture communities.
Yeah.
You go to site and the Romanians are working for one construction company and the Albanians are working for another. But you stick an Albanian with a Romanian, but don't have it, do they?
Yeah. Do you get taken in? So if you walk into prison, not that I want to be walking into that position, but you walk into prison, do you get taken in by the people who are?
No, you just prison is. I ain't been in prison for 7 years now, but when I was in prison, I always had an easy life because I had to play the game. When I was a young offender, I was a shit, always fighting, always in the block. As an adult, I just played the game, but I got on with everyone. I knew who was dealing the drugs. I knew who was running the phones. But I just kept out of it. But I still went to him, "Do you want to go and play football?" I got, "I'm sorting the football team out." Or I got to put a wing team for volleyball together. So I was always in. And I played a game, and it's people get wrapped up, didn't they?
Yeah.
I look at when I talk to the prison guys, I talk to it like prison is the same as a building site. You can mix with the drug culture or the gangs, same mentality. You go on a building site and get wrapped up with the lazy builders and the lazy ones that skive and hide.
Yeah.
You're not going to last very long. You go out of prison and get wrapped up with the drug dealers and the bullies and the phone runners. You're not going to last very long.
Yeah.
It's the same mentality. So you just go into prison, come out of prison with the same work ethic, happy to muck in, behave yourself, keep your head down, use that on a building site or a rail site, you do all right.
Yeah. But
it's trying to get into their heads.
That sports world, so we can get in there and play football against them, can't we? Play rugby.
Yeah, I want to sort out. I said I couldn't. I keep. We got to sort it out. It's just I talk about it, and they will do it straight away. Because they did ask me before, we can approach a lot of the prisons.
I'll be all over it. Yeah, come on. We played, let's say, touch rugby with Saracens, put that program together about their getting them. They put them through, I think, a 6 or 8 week program to get them playing rugby, and then got them out. And then they actually made a point of finding out where they were going to be when they released, and getting them to the local rugby club and get them involved.
I think they took one of them on as well, didn't they?
Yeah, there's been quite a few of them.
Some good rugby players in prison.
Yeah.
Was it last year? Start of last year, we went to Feltham.
Yes.
And it was just after, or the year before. And since lockdown, prisons have changed because they realised that, obviously crazy they didn't realise in the first place. In prison, you've got a thing called free flow or movements. And all the wings come out in the morning and they go to the different workshops and locations. And that's where the gang violence occurred all the time. And then they realised in COVID that everyone's banged up. And then they started separating all the wings because of certain wings, they didn't mix them because of COVID.
Yeah.
They realised that the violence went down by percentage massive.
Did it, yeah.
So now that a lot of prisons don't do free flow heavily, they do wings by wings and it reduces the violence. So so we went into Feltham, and the reason I'm saying that, we went into Feltham and we ran a football match and we had 60 prisoners outside.
Yeah.
And the governor came out and stood on a chair and he went, lads, you've had all today and not one of you've had a fight.
Yeah.
It was the first time they'd grouped all these people together across the prison, all young offenders, where all the worst violence is. He said, we'll do this again. And he stood on a chair to tell them all. And he just made the point in saying, you can mix together, lads.
This is sport. Has helped it.
Over sport.
Yeah.
Football match.
Does it? But talking of football, what's your background? Tough time?
Yeah, don't do tours. Spurs.
Spurs. Are you much of a football man? More rugby?
Stick with the rugby now.
Yeah. Spurs, through and through. You were born and raised that way, weren't you?
I'll tell you a little secret. It's not a secret.
You're an Arsenal fan.
I was for about 3 weeks. So I was born in Tottenham. I was born in Holloway Road. My mum and dad used to own a pub in Tottenham. Then I moved to Enfield. But yeah, I went to couple of Arsenal games with I think it was my uncle. I can't remember actually. And then I started going Spurs, and then I love Spurs.
Our brother's Tottenham, and I've got a picture of him as a kid with a Arsenal Adidas JVC kit on, and I found that before his birthday, and made sure I put that on Facebook, going "Happy birthday, brother."
It's just hard, mate. I don't get it.
You need to stop going football and start going rugby. That's what you need to do. Hey, Steve.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, saying that, I've got a mate. I won't say his name, but a good mate of mine from he big Spurs, and his boy's big. I think he's Chelmsford. Oh. Yeah, he plays for Chelmsford. His boy's a little bit, maybe 16, and he's just rugby mad now.
Yeah, it's quality. I went to Twickenham the weekend, and I come out of there after we hung around a bit after the game, and you come out, and it was just like people playing. There's live music, literally downstairs. And it's the first time I've hung around after a game without panic rushing. So I was driving.
South Stand.
Yeah,
Scrum bar.
It was.
Karaoke they've done there, didn't they?
Yeah.
Great.
And it was so good. And I thought, this is so cool and chilled out. And then I just thought, the difference is, my boys just started playing a little bit of football with his mates at school. And I was like, I don't think I'm in a position where I'll take him to a football match. I remember going to Upton Park, getting taken there when I was a kid. And I'd heard words I'd never heard before, being screamed and shouted. And I was like,
you don't get that Spurs. Spurs is a family club. It is actually. It's funny because
etiquette.
Wait for this.
They've got this great stadium, and where I sit is really nice.
Season ticket holder.
Season ticket.
Yeah,
I've got four corp tickets and 2 normal. And you sit in this corp area. It's nice. It's all right. It's lovely. Got lovely seats, and I'm just surrounded every week by different people.
Yeah,
Americans, Europeans, South Koreans,
tourists
paying big money. Like, I know what mine cost. Like the other day, I think, who was we playing the other day? I spoke, there was a family, but he was a doctor from Chicago with his wife and 2 kids. They pay £500 a seat. And that's not even a cat. There's different cat games. Cat A, Cat B, Cat C, and a Cat C plus game. I don't know if it's changed now, but that's what it used to be. So Tottenham Arsenal be Cat C plus, high risk, violent game, but also high risk, high level cost game.
Yeah.
So they cap
Paying
the
for the police, aren't you?
You're paying for the police, but you're paying extra to go in the ground. £500 each.
Yeah.
And he was, I was talking to him, but he was funny because he was I asked him about,
And then think of that, the price of tickets does go up because the amount of police that have to have there.
it's not just the police, it's just the level of games, like trying to get a Tottenham Arsenal ticket,
Yeah.
or Man United Liverpool, or
Yeah.
it goes up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We need to get into the showdown.
Yeah. Does your ticket cover you for the Saracens game at Tottenham?
Saracens versus Harlequins in March.
Does your season ticket
so
cover?
No, but we
all
get priority.
for all events and
You
stuff?
need to go.
Yeah.
So before the game comes out, so I got 10 for Ben Eubank the other day.
Yeah.
Before they went on general sale, I got them face value.
Perfect.
Well, obviously they're still face value, but you'll only.
Yeah.
So whenever there's anything at Spurs, they email you and said, "Do you want tickets?"
Yeah, that's a cracking day. You've been, haven't you?
I haven't been
Who's it?
to the
Saracens?
Tottenham
Who?
one.
Harlequins.
Harlequins,
Yeah.
Saracens versus Harlequins. I think it's
Yeah.
about 60,000 people in there.
Yeah,
don't
it's
they,
a big, isn't it? Yeah.
Will-
They put
actually,
it in. And
Will
then
came in last year, didn't
they and they also do. They put it out to all the clubs, and the club that sells most tickets, they challenge every club to sell tickets to their members, and then whoever get the top 15, isn't it? Of the
Yeah.
kit 20, or whoever the players are, they have that their badge goes on one of the players' shirts.
Oh, right.
They
you've
present
got-
the shirt to the club after, don't
Malden, and Malden, a bit
Yeah.
of a player, South Malden, Biddericke. They've got the local badges on the actual
Right,
first
yeah,
kit,
yeah.
and they get issued it after,
Yeah.
as well, don't they?
Yeah,
They
they
give
do,
it
yeah.
back to them. But loads of kids go along, don't they? It's
Yeah.
full up with
It's so
people. They
good.
sell loads of tickets, and it's fair price, isn't it?
Who's
Ah.
the best rugby team in Essex now, then? As in senior.
Southend up
Yeah,
there.
it's always Southend, Westcliff, Chelmsford.
Colchester up
Yeah.
there. Southend, I think it's Southend the highest at the moment in terms of
Difference
league.
for the age,
leagues.
yeah.
They're league above. Well, I think Westcliff and Chelmsford are in the same league.
Colchester
now,
went up,
Colchester
went
are
up to the
there, aren't
league
they?
second tier, didn't they? So,
Yeah, Colchester high to South. Yeah, it's all mixed up over the
Yeah.
last few years, and they restructured it all.
Yeah.
But he's trying to keep. There are a few. I think the grassroots game's tough in it at the moment.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot, and it is a lot of just workplace pressure on people that people aren't, especially adults, aren't willing to go and risk getting hurt on the weekend.
You
because
can't
there's so
get
much-
out.
Yeah, and I don't play anymore. I was about to play the next few weeks, wanted to play, and now we've just put together this big bike club we're doing in April. I'm like, I can't risk getting hurt now, so I'm just going to have to call off the season.
You any good at
He's
it?
tore his hamstring.
Are you any good?
He's growing.
I don't play rugby. I coach.
Yeah.
You can't play, but you
No,
coach.
I played at school and that.
It's good crack, isn't it? And that's the thing is, it's a good day out and it's a good laugh, isn't it? And like I
It
say, I
is.
never realised how much I enjoyed myself not going on the beers on Saturday, and had a real good crack. But
It's cracking.
there's no trouble. Is the trouble still at the football?
No, not really. You see it, not at Spurs, there ain't.
Yeah.
No, they don't see any trouble at Spurs ever. Not for years. I mean, it's funny because I was talking to the Met football intelligence officers. I know a lot of them still from when I was my past days. One of them the other day said,
As an advisor.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. No, look, I was a fucker over Spurs. I was always, they used to target me all the time when I was young and, not young up to probably late 40s, early 40s. Maybe late 30s, early 30s.
So not like late 40s, only just 50.
Late 30s. Yeah, so I was talking, and there was about 8 of them standing outside the Fulham Inn, and one of them said, all right, Mark, I went, you lot will be out of a job soon. And he went, your firm is shit. I said, they're not my firm. Yeah. And
This is the policeman. Give
it's
it
the
to you.
copper. And I was just having a bit of banter with him, and I went, you're wasting your time. And then he says, what did he say to me? Yeah, where is your lot the other way? I said, I'm not interested. I'm fucking 51 years of age. But no one goes. You get the lot of the youngsters, but you get nicked over here. They're very good. The Met are good. The British police are very good. What they've done is they've more or less said to you, you can have a fight on a Saturday day, but we're going to come around your house in 3 weeks' time. We're going to nick you. We're going to put you in prison for 2 years for a fray. And we're going to tell your company not to employ you no more.
Yeah. Done.
And it works because people...
Yeah. Harsher sentences.
It's not just that. It's there's a consequence. Like abroad, you see the abroad, they come over. Fucking hell, they come like in mobs.
Yeah. They're expecting it because of the reputation of what England's been.
Yeah, but that's what it. Yeah, when they come to all European teams that have come to Spurs, there's not a Spurs fan on the street waiting for them ever.
Is there? Yeah.
Never, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But there's still that mentality when England go abroad.
I was saying, what's that England away? Is that a good crack?
I don't really follow England.
Do you not? Yeah.
No, I went to a few of the European Championship games,
Yep.
but that was more just I went one with the wife. Went to Cologne. It was 80 degrees. So it was lovely. And then the week later, I went to the Denmark game.
Yep.
And out I took my boy, and he's 14. It was more just the experience. But there was no trouble, didn't see any issues.
It's cracked down.
It's all finished now. Yeah, it's all finished.
Yeah.
I think we need to get into an England rugby game.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we need to get to one. You've been to the rugby game?
No, England-Ireland's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big one. That was
It's probably the hardest ticket in the world to get.
Last week, you have to get it off of after the construction industry's got all the tickets.
Just see your face when you sit there next to your rival fan next to you. You're both having a pint.
But the guys in front of us, we had four or five French blokes in front of us on Saturdays going, "Allez le bleu." What does "allez" mean? Go on. Yeah, "allez le bleu." Just this way, "allez bleu." And afterwards, the guy I was with swapped his England Woody hat over with the French guy's beret, and they shook hands. And he was like, "Fair play to you, won." And he was like, I had to go now, get very drunk in London. And he's French, by the way. Yeah. And he was like, he's like, fair play to you.
Welsh, Steve.
And I was like, fair play to you. Yeah, and they were just like, fair play. And then I think
football's like that now. I mean, there's...
It'd be interesting. They should trial it. People mix the fans up.
I always say this, right? You know, years ago, you used to have a punch-up, and there was some proper punch-ups. And you get a lot of people now in these talks, WhatsApp groups, going, yeah, fucking Millwall's at Leeds this week, but nothing happens.
It was Millwall Leeds the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, see that.
Get 10 Millwall, 10 Tottenham, 10 Leeds, 10 Man United. Let's go and have punch up in the field. All the ones that gob off.
Yeah.
Now, they're not interested. Yeah. Years ago, they would. Because everyone just hides behind the police now. And it's big games, and you'll have like 100 men turn up a Millwall. There's only 10 that'll actually have a fight. Yeah. The other 90 just follow.
There was one, I don't know who the teams were the other day, but they were on the corner flag through the stands, and this guy's got, they're all
what, in Europe?
I think it's in the UK.
Yeah, they might be lower league. No one jumps over the barrier.
No, but this one guy, they had security guards there holding them all back, and this one guy, there was a gap, and he's like, almost accidentally barged through and got through.
And he ran back, he didn't know what to do.
Just for the shit. Yeah, 100%.
I call it like exit dancing. They're all out their nut, going left and right, but no one actually goes forward.
Yeah.
And what 100%. They do is they like two stewards are holding back 50 men.
Yeah.
Stop! And Ian's like, and then I'm jumping on Ian, and then you're jumping on me. You're like, come here, you mugs. And like, you're jumping on me. And that's football hooliganism now.
Yeah.
It doesn't. There's no punch-ups.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying there isn't, but it's very rare you have a toe-to-toe in the middle of the street.
It's all verbal, isn't it?
Do you get away pubs then? So at Tottenham, is there a pub that the away fans go to?
Not really. Spurs, the way they've set Spurs up, it's the away end is on the east stand. So a lot of them just go to Liverpool Street, or they come in from London, and then they put them all on a... So last week, it was funny. Thursday night, there was a pub that Spurs met. They met an Everton pub. A lot of Spurs lads, old lads, not trouble, old school lads, old trouble lads, but grown up. Someone had their kids. And there was about 200 people in this pub. And what they did is the police escorted them across Stanley Park.
Yeah.
And I see a couple of pictures. Spurs mob bowled across Stanley Park. They weren't Spurs mob. Yeah. They were just a pub of 200 Spurs fans with a few lads, but not lads like today want to fight.
Not looking for trouble.
Yeah.
Not looking for trouble. But the hooligan, there's a like WhatsApp, Spurs turned up at Liverpool, and there's this big, all these men bowling across. But where you only get a couple of shots, but you just see all these hundreds of guys. Fucking hell, Spurs bought a big firm at Liverpool. They're not a firm. They were just in the pub, and because there was a few known ex-hooligans in that pub, the police decided to escort them across. Yeah. That's what you see when you get West Ham come to Spurs. You get a few idiots in the group that want to have a...
What do you think? What's the demographic of the hooligans and the reason why they're out there? Is it an outlet for people because of just life and aggression?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, and just...
It's a following, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like when I used to get in trouble, I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
I used to go and have a punch up, come out. I used to walk out of Spurs, I'd be fucking fuming. And I'd go around and because it was fun. But I suppose you got away with it then, in a way.
So would the people be that you can see it as well in terms of, you think like along the lines of the trauma and the why people mental health in people?
Yeah, there's a way of having a bit.
It's a release.
It's an outlet. Yeah, it's a release.
You get a release that when you like Millwall Leeds the weekend. I guarantee there was hundreds of Leeds fans fuming up for it. But in reality, not if it actually come to it, they wouldn't fight. It's that bit of release, isn't it? Fucking hell, Millwall cut me.
The adrenaline gets going, doesn't it?
They get up in the morning, they're excited. You know, it's all over WhatsApp. We've got to meet at the so-and-so tavern. Yeah. They all go there and they go, oh, there's fucking him. And they get all excited. They think, and then they're telling their mates, I went with Leeds firm. And they go next day at work, and Leeds Mill will go, we was all in this pub. Yeah. But nothing happens. Yeah. But the buzz through them,
the release,
gives them a little bit of something to talk about in the week. And then they get a bit of a name in the office.
As I say, let's know the accuracy. Or was it Football Factory? Is it or Green Street? Who's the one? He's got an office job, and he's just a standard office job, quite smart, and then goes there at the weekend, and no one goes to work, and then starts to show, and he's all bruised up, and realising ID. You seen that film? That's a good one. Shadwell. Wasn't it?
But they're good. Back in the day, that you used to have a tear up in the roads, and you'd have a tear up with the police. I got done at Leicester once, and I had a tear up with the old Bill. And he had a fucking proper fight with me.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah, and then they just done me. And I just walked up. Never got nicked for it. Oh, really? Never heard from them, never see them. Yeah. Because they give back what they got. Yeah. You know, and now...
There's always a mutual respect between them as well.
Yeah.
So, 100%.
You know, there's a sergeant at Tottenham, and he nicked me when I was 16 fighting outside Ritzy. Mm-hmm. And I've known him since 16 to 40. He's retired now.
Yeah.
But he was football intelligence Spurs for years. But I knew him when I was 16 when he nicked me outside Tottenham fighting outside the Ritzy on Tottenham High Roads.
Yeah.
And he's calmed down now, though.
He's professional.
He's taking up golf.
I'm all right. I'm getting there. I'm not all right.
Got a few golf days coming up. We're playing a bit.
There's no, you don't get rich fighting. It took me a few years to figure that out, but yeah.
Yeah. But now you fight in a different way, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it's fighting. Different, like we said earlier, everything's a battle. You know, you're fighting. You know, I find in business, there's no loyalty. No. There's no loyalty in business, mate. There's a lot of wrong uns out there, and they try and be your mate. People ring me, hello, Mark, you all right, getting on and all that. Funny that. They don't give a fucking shit. No. They're just fishing.
They're
fishing.
We've been to a few now. People we know quite close in the industry have passed away and gone on that. And you go to the funeral, not one person from their firm there, like the company there, anyone. You just think, everyone, what you've done for these people, this company, I've been with them for so long. You know, Crossroads been a company, you just think, and then you go to the funeral, and you're like, no one gives a shit about who you are unless you're at work with them.
A guy died the other week. I won't say his name, obviously, it's not right to say his name. And there was a donation for him, and I think he got about £27,000, but there was people on there that were donating a tenner that were his friends, or so-called known him for years on the railway. And there's people on there that don't know him going, don't know you, mate, but you're one of the railway boys, there's 50 quid, yeah?
Yeah.
It's not just about the money, but it's just about a man's lost his life, he's got a wife and 3 kids who are going to struggle, yeah? And people, like you said, put a tenner in. I'm not saying they might not have had, but some of these people carry on like, I've got loads of money, and they go around like pretending they got. Some of them have businesses, and they're just like, it's not my problem. Like, it is. It's very cutthroat, mate. Industry, the business.
We see a lot as well. There's something natural with it, I think, because we see it on all events and all stuff. But you'd have the first kind of memorial event of something like this. So we've been to a few. Obviously, have come, and it's the hype, not the hype. The loads of people will turn up to support for that one big day, but then the second year on, it just doesn't happen. And it's really, and we've had from an organising point of view, it's so hard to get numbers up. Yeah. You think about on the day of when you do it the first, we do this year on year in respect. And it's like, and I thought at first, this is just harsh. People won't really put the things out, but now we're like, this is just part of human emotion. I think people do it just peters out over time. Unfortunately, you need a tight core of people.
Yeah, but I think it's hard for, things happen and people move on, don't they? And sometimes life takes over. Yeah. I haven't been to my nan's grave for ages. Mm-hmm. Nan died. But you don't forget.
No, yeah,
but things take over life, didn't it? And like I said, you might have charity days or events and people go, I want to go to that this year. And then that week you just suddenly find out that you've got a meeting that's part of your business, or you're on holiday that you've double booked. I'm not saying it's right, but I think again we're back to the Western world.
Yeah, definitely priorities.
Because you're sitting there thinking, this guy, great reason to go and visit. Great to support him, but my wife and kids, or you got the other priorities sort of pushing them in front of that, doesn't it?
We even see it from a point of view of companies, just like similar to yourselves. Now, people want to do as much as they can for their workforce, but they just haven't got the time because they're too busy chasing money just to pay people.
100%.
Yeah, like, I'd love to be able to go do this, but if I don't do that, they ain't getting paid on time. So they have to prioritise just getting the money in. Whereas, do you suffer with that with the money problems, being paid on time, late payments? Yeah.
At the moment, last couple of weeks have been terrible for me, you know, because we're just not getting the money in quick enough, and the clients are not giving it quick enough.
Yeah.
And we're just, like you said, I'm out there getting more work, and I'm, like I said, Thursday, my job is to make sure everyone gets paid.
Yeah.
And every week for 5 years, everyone's been paid.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
But sometimes the office doesn't help, but sometimes the clients are not.
Yeah.
You know, it is.
Something's got to be done, and we see it every company we speak to struggling with just getting paid, let alone paying people.
But there's one company I won't mention, and this was a few years ago. I had some ESs from, and I was in this pub in Romford, and this guy turned up, one of my staff. I went, "You're not drinking, you're out tonight." He went, "No, I'm just," because we had a little drink up after work. He said, "I'm just popping down and he had a Coke." I went, "You're out tonight?" He went, "Yeah." And then my wife said to me, "They've not paid us for like 3 months, Mark."
Yeah.
So you're joking? She went, "No, they've not paid us." Now this was a small business like mine.
Yeah.
So I rang him up and I went, "Blah, but you haven't paid me." He went, Yeah, we're just a bit tight at the moment. And I went, "My ESs ain't coming in tonight."
Yeah.
I said, "Unless you pay me now, they're not coming in tonight."
Yep.
And he had a big blockade doing some work up in Anglia, and he paid me, right, within 20 minutes. Never rang me again for staff. Yeah. Never rang me again for staff. And I just thought, but my point is, what he done is he had 10 people. He goes, "I want to keep them sweet. I want to keep them sweet. I want to keep them. Don't worry about Marty. Don't worry about Fred."
Yeah.
But the ones he wants to keep sweet are the bigger companies that, I'm not saying they can always afford it, but probably have a better financial backing than just us smaller business have. You know, and they just tick off. And I think the big companies do it. You don't think them QSs sit there and go, "Who's Steve Kersley? Who's Martin Dunne? Or you need to pay Balfours. We need to make sure we pay our tier ones."
We've been delayed payment at the moment because our accreditation construction line didn't go straight. It didn't go straight from being renewed. We had to send off to get it renewed again to carry it on. And there's been a gap in the middle. And we're in that gap now only for a couple of weeks. But they won't pay us now because our construction line's not showing gold. I'm like, what? But when we've done the job in December and delivered it and everything was fine. Yeah. Because now when the payment day comes, it doesn't tie in with that accreditation. They've held off, so we've got to wait till another week now just to get that all sorted out. We're like, how can that even be? It just anything just in that system blips. They go, "Oh, we can keep that in our bank a little bit longer."
Talking about all them accreditations, what I find is funny is if you look at a lot of accreditations for companies, say risk, and you read through the paperwork, you end up finding about 6 different company names on it because all people are doing is taking people on. It's the same paperwork. They're just cut and pasting all the things, sticking a new system in, and then going, "This is for Elite Project Services," but it's got 8 different companies on because the guy hasn't done his paperwork right. Sent it off. You still get approved because they're only looking for page 1, 7, 9, 14.
It's all in there.
And all it is people. It's the same thing for everyone.
Yeah. And it doesn't go across industries, does it? But everyone's got the same stuff. Rail would be different to the construction, but if you look at it, you go, "Oh, we actually have got all the same stuff in place." But nothing's across the board.
Yeah.
Happy days, gents.
No, thanks for today.
No, thanks for having us.
Good.
Been a pleasure. All good for timing now? Yeah. He looks happy, doesn't he?
Every time.
Picking on you now. All on you. No, thanks, Steve.
Steve.
Been a pleasure, as ever. And then until the next one.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah.
Till the next trip outside. You have to take me out on London Underground. Can I go on? There's a TVP.
No.
TVP on
No, you go do WSI.
It's only one day, touchscreen, hour.
Is it? Is that for workers as well?
Yeah.
So as long as there's no train movement,
No train movement, you can
Yeah. We have to get that because I want to get the lads sorted out on there actually.
we spoke.
London Underground. Lovely.
Brilliant.
Yeah, wicked, Steve. Cheers.
Over and out. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.